Alright. Now, we just got through recording. Hang on, let's look at the comments here. I think they're all from Jay.
Well, I know Claudia sent a few, but that was before she went to bed.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta go. You guys are taking too long. Kind of thing.
Maybe before it froze.
And I know we're just kind of geeking out here for a second. We just got back from seeing Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm glad I taped it,
And as far as
because
the West Coast is concerned, we're the first ones to get to see
the
it.
video is not that great.
We saw an early fan showing at our local cinema. Yeah, of course, everybody back east has already seen it, so it doesn't really matter. And the first part of what we're going to do tonight is going to be spoiler-free. We're just going to talk about how we feel about it real quick.
Well, I talk fast.
But that's going to be about 5 minutes.
So
I'll
let's,
probably talk real slow.
yeah, these are all from Jay. Let's see here. Does he Chewie eat them? I'm assuming he means does Chewie eat the porgs? He almost does, but not quite. I'm the only one listening. Jay. So, not Jar Jar drunken ninja. What? Calm down and breathe, he says. That must have been when I spilled the whiskey. When we got started, we were both jazzed when we left the theater.
We were.
And we hadn't had anything to drink yet. I was just kind of jittery all over the place. And I'm trying to imitate Earl doing his hand steeple thing when he's watching something in the theater, and he does put his hands together on the, and I reach forward for my microphone and I knock over my glass of whiskey and it spills all over the table. So Jay was like, take a breath, calm down. So then he says, hi, Claudia. And then here's Claudia. Sorry, I can't stay. I got to go to sleep. I'm sure I'll hear all about it in the morning.
Which she will.
She will. So then Claudia says, I see you, she says. I don't know what that means, but she said that about an hour ago. So she must have heard us talking about her. But at any rate, so we're recording live for good or for bad. About Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I want to talk a little bit about when we first got there and watched the previews.
Okay.
And the previews were, I don't want to say disappointing necessarily, but they were kind of all over the place.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about the technical glitches that initially happened.
That's right. We get in there. Now I'm going to preface this with a little story from my childhood, just really short. When I saw Batman in '89, I saw it in my hometown theater, the Rio Theater in Sweet Home, Oregon. What a shithole. And, I mean the town, not the theater necessarily. I'm sitting there, and remember the scene where he crashes the Batwing? Basically, the Joker shoots him out of the sky. He crashes in front of the cathedral, and then the movie stopped. They didn't change the reels properly. Something went wrong. And that glitch stuck in my head for the rest of my life. It's always been there.
Oh, God, fuck.
We sat there for 20 minutes waiting for them. We were all pissed. Nearly the same thing happened here, but right off the bat. There's basically...
Nearly. Because the way they did it, the way we caught it, was they were doing the whole cell phone thing.
Right.
And then, oh, by the way, put your glasses on.
There's basically two types of 3D in the theaters. There's the ones more like your home 3D, where it's the lenticular kind of lenses. And then there's the ones like when we were kids, the red and the green.
Yes.
And this was red and green.
It was. And I'm going, what the fuck?
Yeah. So some of the movie theaters and some of the production companies like Disney have figured out how to color their screen a certain way so the red and green actually works. It's the real 3D thing they do. But we were sitting there, all of us in the room, about 50 of us or so. I mean, this is a room of could fit 100, so there's only 50 of us in there.
It was
which is
small
kind
crowd.
of disappointing. So, but we started hearing everybody complain. And then the not the previews come up, but the ones that say, hey, watch this commercial in 3D and put your 3D glasses on. And we all do, and it looks like shit.
I was feeling like I was watching The Creature from the Black Lagoon in 3D all over again.
Yeah, because it looks bad. It doesn't fit quite right.
Yeah, and my mind's saying, this is not right.
Yeah, so people start getting pissed.
Yeah.
And a couple people start to leave, meaning go find out what's going on, not to leave the theater entirely. And I do too. You're sitting there eating popcorn, and I said, I'm going to go find out what's going on, because this is pissing me off, because I want to be able to see Star Wars. And sure enough, they had gotten tons of complaints already. And they're like, oh, our bad, we didn't set it properly. They didn't set the projector properly or something. I don't know what it was. So as soon as they did, it worked okay. And we're all kind of a collective sigh of,
You could hear it. You could literally hear the, man.
So that happened. So then the previews start. And the previews are a couple I've seen before, a couple I hadn't. The two that really stick in my head are the Rampage one, which starts out kind of like Congo and kind of like Mighty Joe Young a little bit. And then just suddenly you're like, oh, right, this is the Rampage movie. The giant gorilla, the giant wolf, the giant lizard. And it's silly and stupid in a Pacific Rim kind of way, but it's still fun. I can't wait to see that movie. I probably go to the theater and see it. I'll probably see it at home when I buy it, but it does look like a lot of fun. What do you think about that one?
So I had seen that trailer before. Once again, I'm the kind of individual that peruses these type of things, and I do have I don't want to say a man crush with
The Rock.
The Rock, but
Dwayne Johnson.
I always enjoy anything he does.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say that with the exception of I have not seen San Andreas.
No, I haven't either.
As of yet. But I love how anything I've seen in San Andreas, this seems to mirror that, how it builds up.
Yeah, it's very similar.
I gotta save San Andreas. I gotta save Chicago.
It doesn't. Yeah, either one.
Doesn't matter.
No. It's all interchangeable.
But if you are a child of the late 80s and 90s video games, perfect. So perfect.
I was.
I love that. You know,
just when I thought I'd seen everything, we need a giant crocodile. That's pretty much what he said.
Yeah, that was the last thing I was looking for.
Last thing I was looking for.
And yeah, perfect. And
the other one,
whether I see it in the movies or I see it in
at home.
At home,
Yeah.
I'll watch that one.
I think that'll be one you and the girls will like watching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My daughter's really into Pacific Rim. She loves that movie.
Which I'm surprised they didn't do
the ad for the new one with
Boyega, because I love that.
I didn't like the first one.
I liked the first one because I'm a Robotech guy.
Well, I am too, but for me, that's why it pissed me off, because I thought it was kind of lame. Because I'm a Trans-RZ guy, Voltron.
Yeah, but if you're a kaiju type guy,
not so much the kaiju. That's true.
Okay, but I enjoyed the trailer of that one. I'm surprised I didn't see that.
That is a little surprising. Yeah, you're right.
Because I saw it because it did play in the Justice League. I'm surprised they didn't try to.
Now, the one that surprised us both, though, was A Quiet Place.
Oh, my God.
This kind of had a Cloverfield Lane kind of feel to it, where everyone was trapped in a house. Now, the entire trailer, not the entire trailer, but for the first several seconds, if not minute, of the trailer, is entirely silent.
Yes.
They're doing sign language. Mm-hmm. They're mouthing things to each other. They're playing Monopoly and rolling the dice on the carpet so it doesn't make any noise.
So, when you were soaking those first maybe 35, 40, 50 seconds.
It's quite a while, yeah.
What was your initial thought of what this is going to be?
I knew it was going to be a horror film in a way, because I could tell that was what it was building up to. But I thought it was just a family where, frankly, either all or most of them, or at least one of them, was deaf. That's what I thought. Like, they were just communicating with each other because that was the easiest thing to do. Because if you watch, The Family Stone. Mm-hmm. You watch The Family Stone, every conversation they have in there, they're also doing sign language because one of their siblings is deaf. And that's kind of what I felt like. I felt like they were conforming so everybody could participate.
Okay, let me rephrase this question.
Okay.
Out of all the movies you want to see a remake, what was that initial thought when you saw that movie?
When you saw that trailer?
When you saw that trailer, was there initial like, oh my God, they're going to remake of this movie?
It reminded me of that episode of Buffy called Hush, but other than that, no, I didn't catch.
Oh my God.
Which did you think of one?
Yeah.
What was it?
Tremors.
Real? Oh, the silent part. That's right.
Because I knew, or not knew, but I had heard through the grapevine of Facebook, social media, that they're talking about do a remake of Tremors. I thought that's what it was going to be. Now, we don't know with the way the trailer played out if that is going to be a Tremors remake or not, because we don't know what is the evil entity.
Yeah, because they didn't say. Just the house starts shaking.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of quick cut scenes.
But dear God, to me, especially with the whole laying out the sand and
right. Oh, so they can see the vibration. That's right.
So that was my initial, oh my God, this is going to be a Tremors remake.
Essentially, what ends up happening is the first several seconds are all silent, and one of the kids playing Monopoly accidentally knocks over a lantern, which crashes and makes a noise. And then everybody freaks out, and suddenly the house starts shaking. You got these kind of bounces going on in the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the cold quick cuts of everybody fighting for their life. Like, they don't actually ever show anything that could tell us what that thing is or what's going on. They just show us a bunch of humans reacting. That's all it is.
Yeah. So I mean, to my initial mindset was like, when I first saw that, I was like, it's a stylized version of Tremors. But then, taking a step back, I'm going, well, no, Tremors was always a cheesy, campy.
But for some reason, the first one, the original, it's a cult film. It's a great film. It really is.
But it was still cheesy and campy.
It is, yeah, but it's fun.
So this had a more feel of a very scary
horror movie,
art nouveau.
Okay, right.
Aspect to it. I mean,
it had kind of the Room feel, because they're all trapped in that space.
I loved it when they were communicating sign language. So I don't know, but I thought Tremors when I first.
I did not catch that.
It was just initial reaction.
The other one that stuck out was the Hugh Jackman movie about P.T. Barnum. And I don't remember what it's called, but it's very Baz Luhrmann. It's very Les Mis.
I think it was called The Greatest Show on Earth.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And you'd commented that it was very Les Mis in a way.
Well, they're going because Hugh Jackman's singing.
Well.
So, I mean.
And for me, it looked like Baz Luhrmann because it looked like Moulin Rouge a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a singing, dancing, and Hugh is actually really great at that. Everybody forgets that he's actually a Broadway kind of guy, and he's been playing Wolverine all these years. And of course, Logan is one of the greatest movies ever. But it's nice to see him kind of go back to something a little lighter. It's kind of neat. Zac Efron's in it. And frankly, other than High School Musical, which blows, everything I've seen Zac in, I've actually liked him. He's funny. He's kind of got that Timberlake kind of comedy quality.
Which a lot of us like. And
oh, yeah.
That, yeah.
Timberlake's my hero.
Yeah. He's
not going to be anybody. You always be yourself. Unless you be Justin Timberlake. Then be Justin Timberlake. But, so, the Greatest Show on Earth one kind of looked kind of interesting. Didn't really give a lot of the plot away, but it did kind of... Basically, what they skipped was the animal part. You notice? Cirque du Soleil kind of replaced what the old Ringling Brothers would have been, or P.T. Barnum and Bailey would have been. Because now everybody realizes the animals, even if they're treated well, is still not right. Like, it's not very well. So they've kind of stopped doing that. They make that comment in Madagascar 3, where they actually say, what did humans do to the circus? They took the animals out. But in, of course, Madagascar 3, they're the animals, so of course they want to do a circus. But it ends up looking exactly like a Cirque du Soleil. And that's what this feels like. I feel like that if they were... they're not trying to be accurate. They're trying to make a stylized version of the story. So, of course, they're going to leave the animals out. Just because of PC
we
shit.
didn't see it,
So, that one actually looks kind of interesting to me as well. Besides those three, what were any others? Do you remember any others?
Well, The Incredibles.
Oh, The Incredibles. The Incredibles teaser. Incredibles...
Which I've seen. I already saw that. I already saw that trailer, and the version I saw was really no different than what I saw.
That's the teaser that put on the internet.
You know what, dude? As far as Disney films go, Incredibles is my second favorite film.
What's the first?
Hercules.
Really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
for me.
Yeah.
Just for me. I always enjoyed that. But as far as Pixar films go, Incredibles probably is the top.
Well, you know, as much as you guys are, my wife and I are Disney nerds,
Oh,
just
yeah.
like you and Claudia are.
Oh yeah.
And for me, my favorite three are Sleeping Beauty,
Mm-hmm.
because Maleficent is fucking awesome. The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, I forgot.
I
about
love that
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
And Mulan. Those are my three favorites.
Okay.
Brave is up there pretty high too, but
Yeah.
I think I like Mulan just a little bit better. And as far as Pixar's concerned,
Mm-hmm.
I love almost all the Pixar movies. Like, they're just all amazing, and it's hard for me to decide what I like best. But if I were to actually choose one, I could only watch that one ever again.
Mm-hmm.
It probably would be The Incredibles. The Incredibles, Disney needs to get the rights back. And this is going to lead me into something about Star Wars. Disney needs to get the rights back to Fantastic Four, because they've already done it with Incredibles. Incredibles is Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
It's what Fantastic Four is supposed to be. It's a family who has superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
And all the interactions that go on between. It's like if you, me, Jay, and Jeff all got superpowers,
Yeah.
that's like what the Fantastic Four would be.
So I think for me, when it comes to Incredibles, I think it has a closer family connection, because with all three of my older children,
Mm-hmm.
Toy Story
Mm.
is my oldest.
That's the classic, yeah.
That was the movie he watched over and over again.
Or mocking me, aren't you?
Yeah. But around the same time, because with my oldest son, he's adopted. I didn't know him at the same time that my oldest biological son. Okay. That was Hercules. That was
I love
the
that one, too.
VHS movie that he fell in love with, that watched over and over again. And we're talking Raising a Child. What were those movies you watched? And if you have a child that's growing up, there are certain shows I would like to think that they wanted to watch over and over again.
Yeah.
For one, it was Toy Story. For one, it was Hercules. And for my daughter, Sophia, it was Incredibles.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
I like those three.
With my daughter, with my other two girls, Ella and Zoe, they have their Frozen.
Well, those girls are into
Star Wars. Well,
a lot of the superhero and Star Wars stuff. Yeah.
With Zoe, it'd be Star Wars and Batman. And nowadays it's Wonder Woman. So
I think that Hercules to boys kind of feels the same way that Wonder Woman might feel to girls. I don't pretend to understand how girls think, but I think because at the time in the 90s there was the sensitive male going on.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Smith mentioned it a lot in his movies. I'm trying to be the modern sensitive guy. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when Hercules came out, it was during that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
The princesses still kind of dominated. Even in Disney refers to the 90s as the decade of Disney, because that's when, from Ariel, from Little Mermaid to Tarzan, that's the era of the Renaissance. And of course, Emperor's New Groove kind of falls out of that because it's later, but that's still one of my favorites. Tarzan's one of my favorites too. But I feel like that there were so many princess things, except for like Aladdin, Hercules, and Tarzan.
Yeah.
That's in the Disney side, not the Pixar side. But the Disney side, those are pretty much the big three boy, I don't want to say boy, more aggressive masculine, I guess. Doesn't matter whether you're boy or girl, just aggressive masculine. And because I remember having this conversation with Jay a couple years ago about Disney cartoons and the Renaissance. He was convinced the Disney Renaissance started with Aladdin. I said, but Jay, Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast came up before Aladdin. Little Mermaid's the beginning of the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah.
Because before that was Oliver and Company, which was the anamorphic animal crap that Disney was putting out, even though I still love those movies. I don't love them like I do the later ones or the earlier ones. And so they got to go along this progression until Tarzan, and that's kind of when Pixar came in. Pixar came in
with Toy Story.
In Toy Story in 95, and then paralleled the Disney Renaissance and then pretty much took over. Because then you got Bugs Life, you got Nemo, you got Cars, you got freaking all this stuff that totally outshined almost anything Disney was putting out. Like the couple cartoons, there was Home on the Range or whatever that was. It was awful.
Yeah.
There's a couple, and then they didn't really get anything back until Tangled and Princess and the Frog.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of brought it back a little bit, and then of course Brave was actually Pixar. Brave was like pretty much the last solely Pixar movie, I want to say, because then Disney Animations got into Meet the Robinsons, and then they merged Pixar. They did Tangled and then merged Pixar and Disney and did Frozen.
Yeah.
So Disney realized that Pixar's got it figured out, and they combined the princess stuff with the Pixar stuff, and then moved forward from there.
Yeah,
and
but didn't Disney just recently do something that was more cartoon based than it was?
Well, the last cartoon movie feature film that Disney did was Princess and the Frog. That was the last one.
They just did something here just recently, didn't they?
Let's see. What Disney movies have come out recently? I forget. Well, now they're doing the live action stuff. So they're doing Jungle Book and Beauty and the Beast. And they're going to remake Little Mermaid. They're going to remake...
Are they? Oh.
Yeah, they're remaking that. Which, you know what? After Maleficent, I kind of give them a pass. Like, you know what?
Maleficent was great.
Maleficent was great. And actually, Cinderella wasn't bad either. I didn't really care too much for Beauty and the Beast, but I understood what they were trying to do.
I haven't personally seen that one, but my kids love that one. So
yeah. You might hear it on the microphone here. I'm wiping off the cards on my jeans. I spilled a bunch of whiskey the first few seconds we were broadcasting, only because I was really trying to, emphasize a point. But these cards are the commemorative ticket that we got from the movie. And actually, it makes me think, because one of them is actually the helmet of the Crimson Guard. Now, I didn't particularly care for this design of Crimson Guard. Did you?
I don't mind that one. But some of the other ones I didn't particularly care
You're right,
for.
they were different, weren't they? A couple of them were different.
And they didn't pay any attention really to them, even in the fights.
Well, but also the armor looked plastic. I mean, if you look at the Crimson Guard, yes, their armor looks plastic too. But then they have the cloaks that kind of offset that. They kind of make it seem a little more practical. And then in the comics, the Crimson Empire comics, the old expanded universe, they kind of made them a little better. And I think these guys looked like action figures just tromping around.
Here's my issue. If I had one flaw in the whole Last Jedi movie, was how the interaction with these guards during the fight scene with Kylo and Rey.
We're talking about the Praetorian Guards, the Crimson Guards of the new movie.
Whatever you want to call them. One moment their armor is totally like lightsaber and force
lightsaber resistant.
And then the next moment they're not.
Oh my god, we didn't even talk about the death scenes for the various Crimson Guards. It was badass.
Yeah, I mean, one moment it's lightsaber through the gut,
through the head, heads flying off, limbs flying off.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
But did you feel it was consistent?
No, it was different for each one.
No, not. I don't want to say consistent with how they died. Was it consistent with everything that we know about how lightsabers interact? How, because my assumption was with the Praetorian Guards, where these were the actual Knights of Ren that were protecting.
Yeah, they still really haven't paid off the Knights of Ren, have they?
I kind of that was the feeling I got. I mean, because they're there to protect, Snoke.
Yeah.
But when they battled, one moment they were badass, and the next moment, okay, a poke through the eye, you're dead.
Although that poke through the eye was about 3-inch diameter.
But what I'm saying is about 5 seconds before you've got Adam Driver he's blocking 3 different fucking Praetorian guards,
That's true.
and he's got these what I'm going to assume are damn near close to being lightsaber weapons.
They are pretty close, yeah. They're a little bit like the droids in Revenge of the Sith, the energy weapons. They're all energy weapons.
And yet their armor is protecting themselves.
Did they block a lightsaber with their armor?
Yes.
Oh, I'll have to watch that again. Wow.
Yes. If you watch it closely, especially with Kylo, that scene with Kylo, the way his lightsaber is being blocked, the cross guards are falling against their bracers.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, all of
That's
a
a good
sudden,
point.
Boom, boom,
Yeah.
there goes ahead. You know, if I had to have one complaint, I'd be like, okay, dude, either these guys are force sensitive and know how to block, you know, a lightsaber as it's coming at them,
Like the acolytes who guarded the crystals in Rogue One.
or
Slightly force sensitive.
or true Crimson Guards.
Oh, yeah. or the Inquisitors, just a little bit force sensitive. Yeah.
You know, but I can overlook that.
You know what we haven't talked about yet? The Infinity War trailer.
Oh, yes.
We've all seen the Infinity War trailer
I think we have.
online,
I
but
think we have.
the one we saw was a little bit extended. Like there was more in it.
A little bit, yeah.
That great scene with Black Panther. I don't remember who he was talking to. I think he was talking to Scarlet Witch.
I think I've seen that scene.
Yeah, and he says,
Get this man a shield.
somebody get this man a shield. And Chris Evans steps out of the dark, and he's wearing a subdued dark version of his uniform.
Right, with the beard.
With the beard.
Which is reminiscent of a Marvel line of Captain America where he kind of steps away and then comes back. And it was beautiful.
Yeah, you know more about that than I do. I didn't read those for Marvel.
I
But
didn't either, but I
the
know...
Infinity War trailer was like a movie in of itself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It was a story in of itself, and I'm a little worried that they put too much in the trailer. But I feel like that there's going to be so much more, and it totally ends with the one-eyed Thor. One-eyed Thor. That sounds like my dick.
Yeah,
I mean, that's you know what? That's my dick's nickname right now. The one-eyed Thor. Sorry.
Who the fuck are you?
The one-eyed Thor. But anyway, yeah. Who are you? And the switch, the coverage switches, and it's Pratt with the Guardians,
Yeah.
and they're all standing there because
That scene right there, almost.
that's right on this at my poster that I got on the wall. It's the Guardians looking at Thor, and we knew from Thor Ragnarok that was what was coming, and I'm so excited to see how that pans out because Brolin as Thanos.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Is fucking
It's beautiful.
badass. Like you'd think he'd be weird, I guess, because I don't know the Marvel universe so much. But when I look at Thanos, I think Darkseid from DC.
Fair
That's what I
enough.
think. And I know that the Justice League is leaning toward Darkseid. That's what they're going to do, and I'm so excited. And I hope they get it half as well.
In reality, the conceptual idea, they're similar characters.
Very similar. But Thanos. Now I'm reading right now Deadpool versus Thanos,
I saw that.
which is them fighting over Lady Death, which is really funny. And I'm kind of hoping, because from the crossover that the trailer that Deadpool did with Logan, where he found the grave, I'm kind of hoping that Disney is smart enough to put a glimpse of Deadpool in Infinity War. I'm really hoping that's the case.
Well, you know, Breaker, Fox was just bought by Disney.
That leads me to Star Wars. Fox movies, not everything else. Fox News, all that stuff is separate. But Disney is trying to buy Fox movies.
Fox was just bought by Disney.
Okay,
Which means we're going to get a new Fantastic Four.
great. That's wonderful. But think about it this way. Not only did they get the Fantastic Four back and the X-Men
I
back,
was going to say that. Yeah.
does that mean that Star Wars can now please have the 20th Century Fox logo play before the intro?
I would love that.
Because we grew up in the world of VHS.
I would love that.
And in the world of VHS, Fox had the distribution rights to Star Wars. So everything started with dun 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 dun, and it was the dun, 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 dun. It was the 20th Century Fox intro, and then the pause, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Bam! And then Star Wars started. For me, those things are connected.
Mm-hmm.
And when Disney bought Lucasfilm, I felt that missing. I really did. I felt it missing. The original trilogy still has that.
And then I think the Preludes still.
The prequels, I think, still have it too, but Disney in the Blu-ray releases pulled that out.
Yeah.
And I want that back. I want it back so bad. Because for me, they are totally connected, and I really want those back again. And I think that if they buy Fox, now I'm worried. I'm really worried that the federal government's going to step in like they did with the AT&T and all that stuff. We don't want too many companies making a monopoly. We don't want to fucking do that shit. So they're going to force them to not do it. But I'm looking forward to that. I really am. For many reasons. Both Marvel and Star Wars. Totally looking forward to it.
I think it'll be good. But, yeah. Avengers.
And when he rips the stone out of Vision, and Loki looks like he's handing the Tesseract to him.
Pretty sure he is.
We've talked about before how is Loki going to betray everybody, because in Ragnarok they kind of added him to the whole roster of being the good guys, but he's Starscream. That's what he is, and he's going to play along until he gets a chance to betray them.
Mm-hmm.
And Hiddleston, of all of them, I love everybody in the Marvel universe.
He's the best.
Hiddleston is the best actor in the whole thing. Well, except for Anthony Hopkins. Obviously, Anthony Hopkins is the best actor, but I'm talking about the principals.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be so cool to see Loki betray the Guardians, betray Thor, betray the Avengers to Thanos.
How? But the question is, how is he going to betray them?
He's going to come to them with the Tesseract. Basically, it's going to get to the point. Where Thanos has all the stones. Now, the Soul Stone we haven't figured out yet. The Soul Stone is still out there floating around. But he's going to get all the stones, and the only one left is the Tesseract, which is the Mind Stone? No, it's the something else. I forget which.
It's going to be the Time Stone, or no Time Stone.
No, Time Stone is Doctor Strange, the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, Agamotto.
But I posted something about this the other day. Like, we always get this screwed up. We never get this figured out. But whatever stone is left, it's going to be the one that Loki has.
The Reality Stone.
It might be that one. Yeah.
Or was the Reality Stone the one?
Again.
Anyways, I think.
Okay.
Personally, that the reason why Loki's going to hand it over is because he has no other option but to hand it over.
I think he's going to hand it over because he's a selfish asshole.
Sycophant, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, no, I don't even think he's a sycophant. A sycophant is a believer. He only believes in himself. Loki only believes in himself.
So then why would he hand it over to him?
Because to save his own ass.
Fair enough. Right.
Yeah.
Well, we got Tom May to figure that one out.
Yeah, we got a while.
But before that, we got Black Panther to
oh, my God, Black Panther is gonna be so awesome.
I know. Claudia's like, "Are you sure?" I said, "No, dude. I've been waiting for this for years."
What do you mean? Are you sure? I mean, what? Because he's such a B-list character.
Obscure. No, not Black Panther himself. The Black Panther character.
That's actually a good point, because a lot of people lately have been talking about how DC and Marvel compare in the movie. Articles have actually stated that DC is actually doing better in its first few movies than Marvel did in its first few movies back with Iron Man and Thor.
See, I'm surprised.
They're doing better, even equating for inflation. So people basically attribute this because DC has the rights to their best characters. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern. Yeah. They have the right to their characters.
Those are common.
Which Marvel didn't have the right to X-Men, didn't have the right to Fantastic Four, so they made B-list characters. Iron Man, Winter Soldier, Captain America, Black Panther. Those are back when Iron Man came out in 2008, those were B-list characters.
I would disagree. I would disagree in the sense that why are you saying B-list? Because Iron Man has always been a prevalent Marvel character.
Prevalent, yes, but X-Men were the top.
No, X-Men were one of the top. Depending on what kind of comic book you like to read.
True, okay.
Because I read X-Men. I knew who Iron Man was. I knew who Captain America was because Captain America and the Red Skull were one of my favorite.
As a soldier, I can see that. Yeah.
Incredible Hulk was never a B list. Spider-Man was never a B list.
But that's my point. They did not own Spider-Man. Sony owned Spider-Man. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
You talk about Marvel.
True. Remember though. I'm talking about what Marvel Studios had access to.
So you're talking about movie aspect.
Yes, only movie, not comic books.
Fair enough.
Only movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that was part of the point because Sony had control of Spider-Man and Fantastic Four,
yes,
and Fox had control of X-Men.
Yes.
So Marvel, when Disney bought Marvel, all they were left with was the Avengers.
Iron Man,
Iron Man,
Spider-Man,
Thor, Black Panther,
and
Hulk, Winter Soldier, all those guys. They took B-list characters. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And made them A-list characters.
I see where you're going.
They did a good job with that.
Yeah, they did. They did a great job.
And X-Men, people give it shit. A lot of X-Men hardcores give the Bryan Singer stuff shit. But frankly, there was nothing else at that point.
There wasn't, because if you really want to be honest about it, those three X-Men movies were what sparked
I agree.
the superhero stuff.
I agree.
Whether you liked them or not,
It kept it alive.
it kept it alive.
Because Batman was flagging at that point. Batman had gone to Schumacher, and Schumacher fucked it up.
Yeah.
Now, those movies are funny to watch, but only to make fun of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason they're interesting watching. But you're right. They did a good job with the Avengers, and Black Panther, I'm really excited to see that. I really am. I was so excited to see Wonder Woman, and it was amazing.
Great.
And I really feel that these movie companies need to understand, and actually Disney's kind of figured it out a little bit with Star Wars, not so much with Marvel, but a little bit with Star Wars, that female leads, strong, accessible female leads are the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Rey proved that. Rogue One proved that. With Jyn Erso.
I think with Black Panther, you're not going to have a super strong female lead, but you're going to have some badass female.
But you're going to have a minority lead. That's my point.
Oh, okay.
Is that let's put it this way: male, white, blonde. That's what I'm talking about. Thor, exactly. Which is why Thor came in and said, "Hey, look, I hear people don't like the Thor movies. Let's get rid of the hammer," which is totally a phallic symbol, by the way. Let's get rid of the hammer. Tell you what, let's take one eye out and cut my hair. That was a perfect fucking decision because it made Thor relatable. Before, Thor was unrelatable. He was a god. He was a perfection. He was what women bitched about. When we look at somebody like Wonder Woman, when we look at somebody like Resident Evil, Mila Jovovich in Resident Evil, the female perfection that is unattainable. That's what Thor was. Hemsworth, dude, you're a male perfection, unattainable. I hate to break it to you. You know this already. Fuck you. But he made the decision to scar himself up. Cut my hair, take my eye, take my hammer. Take away all those things that are white, male, blue-eyed, masculine.
Yeah.
Aryan, frankly.
All right.
And it worked. I think it worked. And I think that's a reaction to things like the success of Wonder Woman. And I'm looking forward to Captain Marvel. The Marvel Captain Marvel.
Yes.
But I'm also looking forward to the DC Captain Marvel. I'm not getting into that just yet. But I think that Marvel has been trying to catch up with the female lead thing. And it just so happened that DC beat them to it. And Wonder Woman is fucking amazing. Wonder Woman, to me, is right up there with Christopher Reeve's Superman.
I think they done it right.
Yep.